Have you ever stopped to wonder what Halloween is really all about? Every late October, the streets come alive. You see the glowing jack-o'-lanterns, the creative costumes, and hear the sounds of laughter and excitement. Kids go door to door, their bags filled with candy, and everyone seems to be having a great time. People say it's just for fun, or it's just costumes and candy. It's a cherished tradition, a harmless holiday for making memories. But if we were to look at this day through spiritual eyes, a different picture might emerge. Is it possible that this celebration is not as innocent as it appears on the surface? Let's take a journey back in time. The roots of Halloween stretch deep into the past to an ancient Celtic festival known as... This wasn't a party with candy corn and plastic skeletons. Samhain was a serious, spiritual observance. The Celts believed that on the night of October 31st, the veil between our world and the spirit world was at its thinnest. This meant that ghosts, fairies, and other entities could cross over and walk among the living. It was a time of both fear and reverence, a night when people would light bonfires and wear costumes, not for fun, but to ward off these roaming spirits. They believed these disguises would make them look like fellow spirits, allowing them to avoid harm. So, how did we get from ancient rituals meant to ward off spirits to today's festive Halloween? As Christianity spread across Europe, it often integrated existing pagan traditions. The church established All Saints' Day on November 1st, also known as All Hallows' Day. The evening before October 31st became All Hallows' Eve, which eventually shortened to Halloween over centuries. The solemn, spiritual nature of the original festival began to fade. The traditions of costumes and bonfires remained, but their original meanings were largely forgotten, replaced by secular fun and games. Think about the common symbols of Halloween we see everywhere. The jack-o'-lantern, for example, comes from an old Irish folktale about a man named Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil and was doomed to roam the earth with only a burning coal inside a carved-out turnip to light his way. Ghosts, ghouls, witches, and skeletons. These aren't just random spooky characters. Historically, they represent beings from the underworld, entities associated with darkness and fear. When we dress up as these figures or decorate our homes with their images, are we unknowingly inviting or celebrating the very things those ancient people feared? From a spiritual perspective, symbols have power. What we choose to celebrate and focus on can have a real impact on our spiritual lives. When a culture dedicates an entire day to celebrating imagery of fear, darkness, and the macabre, it's worth asking what kind of spiritual atmosphere that creates. Is it just harmless fun? Or does it desensitize us to things that are genuinely dark? Does it normalize ideas and images that, on any other day of the year, we would recognize as negative or unsettling? It's like a subtle whisper, suggesting that these things are not only acceptable, but also entertaining. This isn't about judging anyone who enjoys Halloween. The intention for most people is simply to have a good time with family and friends. But it's about being mindful and aware. It's about understanding the deeper spiritual currents that can run beneath our cultural traditions. When we see the celebration of darkness becoming more and more mainstream, it's a good time to pause and reflect. Are we participating in something that aligns with our values? Is the laughter and fun overshadowing a more subtle, underlying message? Consider the modern obsession with horror movies and haunted houses, especially around this time of year. People pay to be terrified, to experience manufactured fear. Spiritually, this can be seen as opening ourselves up to negative influences. Fear is a powerful emotion, and deliberately immersing ourselves in it, even for entertainment, can have a lingering effect on our spirit and our peace of mind. It's a far cry from the original intent of warding off evil spirits. Instead, we are actively inviting the imagery and feeling of fear into our lives for a thrill. So, what's the alternative? How can we navigate this time of year with spiritual awareness? It starts with a choice. Instead of focusing on darkness and fear, we can choose to focus on light, hope, and life. Many families and communities are creating new traditions. They might have a harvest festival or a fall celebration focusing on the beauty of the season, gratitude, and community. They replace scary costumes with positive ones, like heroes, historical figures, or characters that represent good things. The focus shifts from fear to joy, from darkness to light. This is about reclaiming the season. It's about being intentional with what we celebrate. We can still have fun, eat candy, and spend time with loved ones. But we can do it in a way that uplifts our spirits rather than dwelling on things that are spiritually dark. Think of it as choosing a different station on the radio. One station plays static and unsettling noises, while the other plays beautiful, uplifting music. Both are available, but you have the power to choose which one you tune into. Ultimately, the devil's whisper isn't a loud, obvious threat. It's the subtle suggestion that darkness is harmless, that fear is fun, and that spiritual things don't really matter. It's the slow erosion of our sensitivity to what is good and what is not. By understanding the history and symbolism of Halloween, we can make more conscious, informed decisions for ourselves and our families. We can choose to be a light in the darkness, celebrating life, love, and goodness. Not just on one night, but all year round. It's about recognizing the spiritual reality around us and choosing to align ourselves with what is positive and life-giving. Thank you so much for joining me on this reflection. I hope it's given you some food for thought. If you found this perspective helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that explores faith and culture. Stay blessed and choose light.